Thanks and welcome to the 6:15 with me, Kijan Henry. Assembly to begin with our top stories. False public holidays handicap economic and academic activities across Cameroon this Thursday as parents held their children to stay home as the political atmosphere remains uncertain, with Cameroonians awaiting the publication of the results of the presidential election of October 12th presidential election. And public reactions in Douala are pouring in following with a new directive from the Senior Divisional Officer for VRI, which dates that 2021, which dates 2020. Many residents say the decision will make movements in the city even more difficult. And of course, we are going to have reactions of what is known as the City Group initiative that urges Constitutional Council to stand for truth as we all await the election results. Top stories. Thanks and welcome to join me on the 6:15. We thank you for being there with us, and of course you can hook up with our respective platforms on Canal International. Now let's begin very quickly with this that is coming from Gandari, where the tensions are running very high in Gandari, that is in the Adamawa region of the country, as the region extremely awaits the official results of the presidential election of 12 October 2025, dubbed Cameroon's water power. The city now twists from peace with visible concern on the faces of residents facing post-election unrest. This was the backdrop of a high-level peace dialogue convened today by the Adamawa Regional Governor Kildadi Buka, bringing together the social actors and stakeholders to promote calm and national unity. Religious leaders like Monsignor Emmanuel Abo, civil society figures and union leaders such as Muhammadu Mudatsi of the GTTC Transport Syndicate all echoed same calls: preserve peace, resist manipulation, and reject any call for revolt, regardless of the Constitutional Council's final verdict. The meeting ended at insurrection will actually be dealt with civilly. Now let's get the details of the governor's reaction just after the minutes as gathered for us by our North or Adamawa regional correspondent. We were expecting thanks very much. We are expecting the reaction of the handicapped economic activities across the country as children were held back home, some businesses closed as Cameroonians await the results of the presidential election of 12 October 2025. But then, what has this brought to the economy and the academy? Details in the foreign report, courtesy Hasinchia from Yaoundé.
The streets of the capital city, these commercial motorbikes during the morning hours and no traffic as it is always the case. Some schools in Yaoundé facing massive absences of both learners and teachers.
At Gopal, today classes were not bad, just that some teacher was not around, and even some students. We don't know why, because normally today they were supposed to come to school, but we don't know why most of them they are not there. Maybe the classes that was supposed to have 40 students, they are just 20 or 25.
En soirée, même quand on constate qui devait avoir classe, on va alors savoir si les maîtres seront là ou les professeurs. On était perturbés. Personne, les enfants sont tous à la maison.
But the administration of this primary school had taken measures to sensitize pupils not to yield to the social media rumors of a public holiday.
Since the rumors were not official, so we did not consider it. Our founder says there is school, and so all of us were in school, except for the sick people. All our teachers are there, and if you can notice, all our classes have been very active. Yes, our lessons have been taught today. Everything is going on well.
Just like the streets, it is a similar picture with the markets. Here at the Whittier Market, Yaoundé 2 subdivision, some traders simply stay at home, and even those who breach the fear are idling. No clients to buy as usual.
C'est plus vide qu'avant. Il n'y a pas les gens au marché. Les gens ont vraiment peur que peut-être on devait proclamer les résultats aujourd'hui. Les gens ne sont pas venus au marché. Les gens pensent même déjà à la rentrée parce qu'il n'y a pas vraiment le marché. Il n'y a pas les gens qui achètent. Il n'y a que les vendeurs.
Le marché est la nasse. On est effrayé, les gens ne sont pas sortis ce matin. Les gens qui sont sortis comme nous, comme ça, on a seulement dit que le très haut est là. On a mis la confiance seulement sur Dieu pour sortir ce matin.
The goods today did not really enter because of the announcement of the presidential election for today.
With the prevailing tensions, the Yaoundé city dwellers continue to wish for peace to reign after the proclamation of the official results by the Constitutional Council on Monday, October 27, 2025.
Well, thanks very much, Hassan Chand. And the public holiday reactions, of course, in Douala, or reactions are pouring from all the quarters as the directives from the Senior Divisional Officer for VRI, which actually declared on October 21, 2025, banning the complete circulation of motorbikes in the city from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. And of course, many residents say this decision has actually made movements very difficult. The directions are compiled in the following reports. Courtesy Sharifa Saleh.
In the street of the economic capital, Douala, opinions are divided after the recent communique issued by the Senior Divisional Officer for VRI since October 21, 2025, restricting the circulation of motorbikes during nighttime hours.
La moto, c'est tellement un moyen inévitable.
La moto est plus accessible.
A commercial bike is more accessible in this our town. You know, with our constant heavy traffic jams we witness, only commercial bike do help us get to our destinations on time. However, many residents argue that the decision will disrupt the city's rhythm. Douala, known for its round-the-clock activity, depends heavily on motorbike transport, especially in areas where taxis and buses cannot easily access.
Douala d'abord c'est la moto, donc en aucun cas on peut pas vivre sans moto à Douala. Douala n'est pas aussi.
You know, Douala is built in such a way that not all taxis can get into the area of some neighborhoods. How are people living in such neighborhood scope?
C'est plus rapide et puis ça ne traîne pas.
Le travail qu'on fait même pour aller dans les sous-quartiers, le taxi ne peut jamais le faire.
For others, the ban punishes both drivers and commuters. For now, the city has to adapt to life under the new restrictions.
Jusqu'ici, on n'arrive pas à combler le vide.
C'est les passagers qui ont.
I think passengers will face the consequences more than commercial bike riders, because a rider can try his possible best to end work before 6 p.m. But what about someone who ends work at 8 p.m. or 10 p.m.? The ban prohibits commercial motorbikes from operating between 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. The Senior Divisional Officer in his communique says the measure is aimed at reducing insecurity ahead of the proclamation results date.
Thanks very much, Sherifa Saleh. And as Cameroon awaits the official results of the 2025 October 12 presidential election, the stakes are very high, and amid the growing public anxiety, senior journalist and veteran Eric Kinji says, who is the founder of the project called the C Project, says transparency, integrity, and the truth would actually build Cameroonians out. He warns that only credible proclamation of the results from the polls will save Cameroons from the deluge of political articulation. Details with Morinti.
His eyes and mind, like those of many Cameroonians, are now focused on the proclamation of the October 12 presidential election results, scheduled for Monday, October 27 by the Constitutional Council. Birds ahead of this crucial announcement, senior journalist and initiator of the C Project, Eric Kinji, reflects on how credible the voting process really was.
Reports from observers, international observers especially, seem to point this out. People went in an organized way, voted, and left. And a few hung around to ensure that their votes would be counted at the end of the day.
He raises question over the voting figures recorded in the Northwest region, where some numbers allegedly exceeded the...
Which could not have had 200 people come out and vote on that day, for reasons that we all know, but somehow Mr. Biya garnered 5,000 votes in Batibo. Clearly not true, and we are not going to build a house of cards on a foundation of lies.
Can this post-electoral period push Cameroonians into chaos? It's a scenario he doesn't even want to imagine, but says it's clear that Cameroonians are yearning for change.
Based on what was said by those who left the polls and the discussions that have been taking place ever since, the vast majority of Cameroonians voted for change.
The C project initiator urges the Constitutional Council to proclaim only the truth from the ballot boxes come October 27.
I hope the Constitutional Council will read the law, will tell the truth from the polls. I hope they will give us the figures that reflect the mood of the nation, that captured this demand for change that is across Cameroon.
The C project, led by Eric Chinje, is a grassroots movement committed to encouraging citizens to vote transparently in the hope of bringing real change.
So hopefully the Constitutional Council will rise to the historic task.
Maureen D reporting there. Thanks very much, Maureen D. And as youth under the umbrella of the Cameroon Youth Council and other related associations in the country have also added their voices to the rest, calling for peace in Cameroon to reign after the results of the presidential elections are proclaimed, and of course dubbed the most controversial elections in the dispensation of Cameroon's political articulation. Details with Maureen. Details with Beatrice Ngamo.
The youths who took to the streets are part of the peace crew, with messages to stay away from public manipulation, make peace and social cohesion their priorities.
Dans le monde là, arrange le problème. On veut ce qu'il en paix. On veut ce qu'il en paix. On ne veut pas les bagarrer.
Some of the youths they met acknowledge marching is not bad, but when it involves destruction of property, it becomes criminal, and they are not in support of that.
Si c'est pour sortir, faire la marche pacifique, nous sommes pour. Mais si c'est pour casser et faire le désordre, là je conseille aux jeunes d'éviter les cassures.
Non, ce n'est pas bien de sortir à la rue cassée. Mais si c'est manifester, c'est bon. On peut manifester pacifiquement. Simplement, on doit casser.
C'est pas une bonne méthode pour moi, je dis personnellement, parce que faire les casses, brûler, c'est pas la solution du changement.
Quand je suis là comme ça sur la moto pour trouver le gagne-pain, pour sortir dans la rue et verser le sang, ça ne sert à rien.
As they move around, they also distribute flyers, prospectus, explaining their concerns further. Content includes, I love my country Cameroon and I will not participate in its destabilization, among others. To anyone ready to listen, they explain further. Their calls also reached the ears of mothers at the Mfundi market in Yaoundé, advising them not to allow their children to join those going out to destroy in the name of march.
Nous voulons un Cameroun uni et paisible où il fait beau vivre. Nous n'avons qu'un seul pays. C'est la raison pour laquelle nous sommes descendus sur le terrain.
The Peace Sensitization Caravan, the members of the National Youth Council and other youth groups concluded, is a demonstration of the youth's engagement to effectively assume a role to participate in a stable and prosperous nation.
And Public Health Minister Mandauda Malachi has actually organized what is known as a health scrutinization campaign to make sure they upgrade the healthcare standards in the country. And Sherifa Saleh is telling us that the broken health standard is worth refurbished. Details.
Hospital and clinic managers in Douala have presented their operational challenges directly to the Minister of Public Health, Mandauda Malachi, during an unannounced inspection of their facilities.
C'est l'occasion
It was an opportunity for us to present what we have already done to our facility and also present our challenges to our public health minister. The minister, who listened to the concerns and engaged with both managers and patients, say the impromptu visit is to assess healthcare delivery firsthand and understand the day-to-day realities faced by medical staff and patients.
So I think I'm very satisfied for what I see. And here we also visit the laboratory, pharmacies and other health structure. So I think the objective is the same, is to see how to improve, how to améliorer our health system.
L'hôpital se comporte bien, il y a la propreté, l'accueil est chaleureux et les médecins sont accueillants.
The Ministry of Public Health has in recent years increased field inspections, both announced and unannounced, across the country to strengthen oversight in the health sector. The minister reiterated the government's commitment to improving health services in Cameroon.
And thanks very much, Sherfa Saleh. And of course, in line with the Health Cancer Awareness or Breast Cancer Awareness Month, face screening, also known as Pink October, screening is on the way, and early screening has been recommended by health experts or cancerologists or oncologists to make sure that women prevent themselves from breast cancer. And so Beatrice Ngamo is saying that knowing your breast cancer status earlier is better for your health.
Today, most women know how to save themselves from the embarrassing and deadly cancer of the breast. Their best option, self-breast examination.
I'm flat on the bed, so I just touch. If I feel a lump or any pain, I can go to the hospital. But so far, I've not noticed anything.
Like her, these others go about breast palpation, the process of examining the breast by touch. You touch yourself, going up. If you find a strange nodule different from the normal, then there is a problem. The self-breast examination helps to detect lumps, thickening, tenderness, or changes in the breast tissues that might indicate infection, cyst, or cancer. Do nothing to worry now. At one time, she was disturbed by a strange discovery. At one time, I was at Gyneco Hospital when I thought I had something following a strange bite, but they did mammogram and it was nothing. The frequency varies according to each woman. To some, it's a daily affair. Others, 3 days, 1 week, once a month. Some goes as far as prescribing sleeping without bra and tight clothing. On the streets, it is said we should allow men suck our breast to avoid cancer. We are in the Pink October, the Cancer Awareness Month. Focus is on encouraging early detection through screening and self-awareness, among others.
Thanks very much, Beatrice Ngamo, for that report on Pink October. Well, we have this feature on how the prices of egg have been skyrocketing. But now family homes are saying that it is unbearable, as this is a staple, especially during breakfast. And the focus is with children who are going to school. Sherfa Saleh takes a look on the skyrocketing prices of egg in the market.
Once sold at 1,500 francs, a tray of eggs is now priced up to 2,700 francs in markets across Douala. The surge has affected both wholesalers and retailers, while consumers say eggs have become a luxury item rather than a household staple. The sharp rise in prices has slowed the activity of wholesalers, from commands to supplies, because we are not coping.
C'est vraiment exorbitant. Ce n'est plus donné aux Camerounais moyen de consommer les œufs.
Not easy for time. It's food for the rich man. It's not the food of man.
According to the Regional Delegation of Livestock, Fisheries and Animal Industries, the country's number of laying hens has dropped to about 4.5 million, a decline of roughly 5 million compared to previous years. The sharp fall in production has created a significant gap between supply and demand, pushing prices even higher.
The egg is one of those products, animal product, that is accessible in terms of cost, and it has very few, you will see very few restrictions, whether it's medically, even religious, in terms of religion. So it's one of those products that we can encourage. It's one of those products that have the potential to become a product of mass consumption.
These challenges have strained the entire poultry value chain from farms to market stalls. Despite the difficulties, authorities say they are working to stabilize the sector.
Sheriff Asaro, wrapping up this edition of 6:15 with me, Kejan Henry Asembe, thanking you for being there with us. Lee Piju is just right ahead with the brief, the actuality, and of course, you're going to handle very critical issues and the news. Thanks for being there and goodbye.